good to be back and back out in front of fans and against a different opponent. I know these guys are really happy to finally play someone besides themselves, so our practice guys. So overall, a good outing. Obviously, we shot the ball really well. But our defense still, we need to be sharper. We need to be able to string more possessions together, and that's work in progress. We'll continue to get better, but there's just too many times we got beat off the bounce way too easily, and that's our core value is to keep the ball in front. We're not a in the lane and up the line team. We're containment, keep them in front, win 2 dribble wars, keep them out of the paint, and we just didn't do that. We didn't execute at a high level consistently enough. But again, it's still October, so we'll continue to address it in practice and get better. But it was a great just to get so many people minutes and really get to see different lineups together with a lot of our new guys. So overall, a great night.
Questions for the players? Go ahead and raise your hand.
I guess just
You kind of rolled out the same starting five that finished the season. Do you guys feel like you have really good camaraderie in that starting five?
Yeah, I feel like with us and with the whole team, like we just been so together, and I feel like this summer we spent even more intentional time hanging out, just hanging around the apartment, doing different things like that. I feel like definitely having that year under our belt really helped us to be able to kind of focus on more things than just like the basketball piece because it was so heavy last summer.
and, I guess, Camille, for you, after spending so long at one place, like what's been the adjustment process to get used to kind of how things are done here, and how have you kind of worked through that?
I think the biggest thing is just staying true to yourself and just being around people who want you to be there. It's been really welcoming with Coach Green, staff, and my teammates just really pushing me. There's definitely some learning curves, but with their support, it made things a lot easier for me.
Camille, just what's been the adjustment process too with the way they like to play the game Illinois likes with pace? What's that kind of been like for you to kind of get adjusted to that that style of game?
Just very intentional in practice. I mean, I know Coach Green definitely pushes me when she sees me, running. She's like, push, keep going, keep going. That's just the pace that we play, and it's really exciting and it's a lot of fun too. So being able to play like that it's rewarding to be able to play with everyone.
For either you guys, coming off this game and going into next week's game, do you think there's any extra added motivation with the number 23 AP poll ranking?
I would say we play every game just trying to get 1-0. So, I mean, of course, we know it's a bigger target on our back for the people that we play, but I feel like as far as our preparation, it's the same no matter what. But it does feel good to have that number behind us as well, just getting that recognition.
Genesis, when the the threes are falling like that as a team, like what is that feeling like personally, and then even like what kind of space does it allow you where it seems like 4 or 5 of you can all step out and hit those?
It makes us really hard to guard when everyone is shooting threes and knocking them down. I mean, 14 for 26, that's a really good percentage. So, I mean, we can shoot like that all the time. We're very hard to beat, but it's just fun, like especially when teammates knocking them down and you can run down the paint like knowing they finna make the shot. It just brings energy to the game.
Camille, what's your thoughts on the double big with KB and how that's kind of working out so far?
I think that, I think we work well together. I think that when we're, like in the summertime, KB was really helpful to me trying to learn the system and just get used to a lot of different things. So I think that is really fun. I think it makes us, like Jen said, with the threes, but as well make us even harder to guard. So, that's always a plus.
Jen, it's not often that somebody comes into a game and leads their team in both points and assists. Is that something you've been more looking to do, or just something that happens in the flow of the game with your very talented teammates?
Yeah, I feel like it's the flow of the game. Like, if I'm scoring at first, then I have to have extra help, so then that's just easy points for my teammates. So just within the flow of the game.
Just one more, Camille, about you and Kendall. Like, how do you two kind of maybe complement one another, do you feel like, and maybe kind of help elevate each other?
I think that, we both can rebound the ball really well, offense and defensively. I mean, that makes us special and makes us different. So just, moving forward, just keep playing and just complement each other, like you said.
How much would you attribute your time together at NC State? Like, how much has that helped you in terms of just playing together? I know you only spent 2 years together, but.
I would say we didn't play much together, especially not on the court. But in practices, I feel like we did play a lot together. So, but like I said, it's a whole different system. So it's like the way we played is like a lot different now. It's just running fast and free. So, but I feel like it was definitely helpful though.
Just Jada, it seems like she was really active defensively, and in addition, like what does she kind of bring to you guys when she's on both ends of the court like that?
Yeah, I kind of talked to Jada probably a couple months ago and just like, we need your length, we need your defense. And I feel like she was very receptive of that. And you could tell she's more intentional on that as well. So, I mean, Jada is if you don't know, she's very long, especially when she come and guarding us in practice. So she could really have a lot of trouble with just how they're playing and things like that. So it's really helpful for us.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.
See.
Good. What's Mikaira? We didn't see her out on the bench in the second half. What's kind of the status with her?
Yeah, they're evaluating her right now, so hopefully we'll have kind of a better feel maybe tomorrow or later on tonight. So.
There was a big sequence in the middle of the fourth quarter with KB dropping a dime from the elbow, steal on the other end, push the pace on her own. Is that something that you have been pushing for her to be more of a facilitator, or something that she's kind of developed on her own?
You know, she's capable of doing that. You know, really all of our fives and our fours, they can all shoot it, they can all pass, and they can start the break too. So I just think that the more comfortable you feel, the more, you know, comfortable you are in the system, which she is now, she's able to really like everything shine through. And she's at a I think she's very confident in what we do, where last year they were still, you know, okay, trying to figure this out, trying to figure that out. I just see a calmness about KB this year that's really been great, and I think it's helping in her game.
Coach, what can you take away from this result against a D2 team? Are there still some things you can see on film that helps your team?
Oh, yeah. Anytime, you know, whether we're scrimmaging each other in practice or scrimmaging our practice guys, game footage is key. You know, we had our scrimmage earlier, our close scrimmage earlier this year, and we had it a couple weeks ago. And actually, I liked it because then we learned a lot, and we had a couple weeks to really, you know, get better at some things. And now we're going to have this, and we're going to get better at things. We have to. We have to get better defensively if we're going to be able to go in, you know, and any team in the Big Ten, Marquette, Notre Dame, Arkansas, you know, the list goes on. So they know, the returner, I told them in the locker room, they know, our returners know what we do, and they got to just continue to, and I think these games will help them. You know, the game situations will help, but we got to be sharper and more disciplined defensively.
What do you like about what Camille brings to you, and how has that process gone for her? Then as a second part, like what's the process for you to get her and KB together, or what do you like about them maybe splitting?
Yeah, I think it's all going to depend on matchups. You know, if they're going to play four guards, it may be hard for us to go big, depending. You know, we were able to tonight. So I think, but again, there's options, there's flexibility, and now KB's not having to play 40 minutes a game. So Hobby, we're continuing to get her, you know, to get to the place where she knows the pace we play, like you guys had asked, and how hard we play defensively, offensively, and it's different when you're not used to playing at that tempo. So she's getting there. I really have seen great improvement. Even in the last week, I thought she's been very, very intentional on what we need from her. And I think she's gonna just keep getting better every game. So that's where even tonight was really good to get her. I think she was in 17 minutes, 6 of 9, 12 points. We got to get her, you know, she's a really good rebounder. She can do better than 5. She knows that, and she will. But she was also, you could tell, all of our new guys had a little bit of nerves to them. So I think this was a great game for that. But yeah, it's going to be fun to see. And I think a lot of it will evolve the combinations and how we utilize Hobby and KB together and or, you know, separately.
Just tonight, speaking of the newcomers, what did you kind of see out of Gretchen Dolan? I know you got her 20 minutes tonight. What you kind of like about what you saw from her?
Gretchen's gonna be really good. She's gonna be really good, and she was 2 for 4, 1 for 1, 6 for 6 from the free throw line. She just, again, as a freshman, you could tell just understanding the pace, and then just even the pace defensively. She went under a couple, screens, and instead of going over, those are just things that you didn't have to do that in high school. No one would make you pay if you had some mistakes defensively. So. But she moves extremely well. She's deceptively very quick with her first step. She obviously can shoot the ball. She can score at all 3 levels. I'm so excited about Gretchen. I think she has a really bright future, and she's going to help us a lot this year.
Another newcomer question. She didn't put up a lot of stats, but is she a kind of player that can help you with just being scrappy and on the glass and defensively?
Yeah, no doubt about it. Shay's out there and she's playing her butt off. She's talking nonstop. She brings so much energy. She does all the little things that we need and that I stress and preach every single day. She does that. You got to remember, Shay did not play last year hardly at all. It was kind of like a genesis where, so she's truly, and she was a freshman last year at Duke, so she's pretty much a freshman. And I think her future is very bright, too. I really liked what I saw out there today because she didn't play that much in our scrimmage because she had a little bit of an injury. So this is the first time I've really seen her against someone besides in our practice. So I thought she had great minutes. She didn't, she only had 2 points, but she had 5 rebounds. And that's huge, is at that 4 position. And as she gets in a better flow and just feeling not so nervous and she's going to hit those shots. She's an elite shooter, so I'm excited about her. She gives us another option with Bryn, at that 4 spot.
I was going to ask you about defensively. Just did you like what you saw in maybe the next 10 minutes after the first quarter? Because I know they were 7 of 7 on twos in the first quarter. And
I didn't like that.
No, but did you see a progression in an exhibition game that?
Yeah.
There's some encouragement there.
No, you're right, and we did. We got better. I mean, we held them to 14 in the second, 15 in the third, and then 10 in the fourth. So I told them at halftime, there's no way, and this is no disrespect to Truman State, but with our expectations of how we defend, they shouldn't have had 35 points or whatever they had. So I really like that we came back in the second half, and held them to 25. So. We'll continue to get there. The thing about this year is in our schedule, we don't have as much time. Like we gotta be ready because, we have one at home and then we're going on the road and playing a really, really tough physical team in Milwaukee and playing in Marquette. So, we gotta make some strides pretty quickly.
You gave Bryn a shout out a couple of questions ago, and I just wondered, what have you seen from her? A lot of your critics last year said it was a lot of the 4 of them, and then that 5th starter position was always in flux. But what have you seen from her tonight and recently that really solidify that starting 5 as a whole?
I just think if you look at even before she had the injury at the end of last year, she started rebounding at an elite level, and that changed us. We have to have her rebounding. So even tonight, 9 rebounds, 2 for 2 from 3, 4 for 7, 12 points, 2 assists, 0 turnovers. So that's a pretty good line for her in 20 minutes. So I think just continuing, for her to get on the boards to create some extra. Even if she get 4 points off of some putbacks, she missed a couple tonight that I think she can finish those. So continuing to just keep her on the boards, that's going to be key for us. We need our 4s and our 5s to rebound at a high level, and then our guards, will kind of pick up from there.
It's going to sound stupid, but I couldn't help but notice that Gretchen and Corey both make their first bucket in State Farm, and your starters on the bench just kind of went nuts, and they make their first 3 and they went nuts. Do you like your locker room and the way this team kind of comes together right now?
No, you're right. The one time they were almost on the floor, cheering for Corey and Gretch, and when you have 2 freshmen and they're good kids, like they're freshmen that have really, they do things the right way. They go about their business. They work really hard in practice. they've really learned quickly. Like, usually you put freshmen out there and they don't know the plays and they're, messing everything up. But these guys, they've picked everything up, and you can see that with the excitement of how their teammates reacted for them. And I think that's awesome. That's what it's about. That's the culture that we want. And I think this team's really, really tight. Last year there was a lot of growing, but like Jen said, this summer and just all the time they've spent together, they're very close off the floor, and they communicate at a high level in terms of if anything's going on or there may be a conflict or adversity, they're addressing it, they're mature enough, and that's what you want in your locker room. So I'm really happy with where we're at in terms of our chemistry and the culture that they've really created.
When she made the decision, it kind of seemed like not a lot of drama. Like Jada coming back seemed like kind of like it was a done deal. But what has that meant to you guys? And then where have you seen those defensive growths, I think, that you talked about earlier?
Yeah, I'm really happy with where Jada is right now. Like, I think she's one of the more improved players. I also have to remember, I had, like last year, she was coming off that surgery and really didn't practice all summer and into the fall. So she was really, last year, I thought, more one-dimensional. Like, she was a catch-and-shoot player, and this summer she's put in the work, and she can go off the bounce now. She's taken her pull-ups. And I said it about maybe 2 weeks ago in the middle of a practice. I just called her in front of our entire team and said, I think you can be one of our lockdown defenders. And that's my vision for you. That's my expectation for you. So her growth, I did not think that last year. I thought she was solid, but her length, her ability to move and not get screened, and she's slithery, she's elusive, and that's a great thing defensively. And then she can play a lot of minutes without getting tired. And that's it's like KB. Like, I look up and I'm like, shoot, Jada has been out there the whole time. I need to get her out. So I'm really proud of her. I'm really proud of her for her improvements, and even some of the steps she's taken in terms of a leadership role.
Just when you shoot the ball from three-point range like you did tonight, what does it just do for this offense just in terms of spacing and what you're trying to get out there?
Well, I hope if we can shoot 14 for 26, there'll be a lot of good days for this team. But we also know that's up and down, right? And that's where, again, even though we're making all, I told them at halftime, I think I could have went out and scored 30 tonight. But what I cared about was their defense. Don't laugh. I still got it. So I knew we could score, and we were hitting open shots. But again, with me, it's about, can you defend and quit letting people just drive right by you? So there has to be more pride in what we do and doing our job on the ball. But yeah, that was just a phenomenal shooting, and I said Makaira she came out and hit those 2 threes right away. She was 3 for 4 before she went out in 11 minutes. And then, Bryn was 2 for 2. Jada, Gretchen, Corey, if we can continue to shoot like that at that level, and I think we have more people this year that can knock those down. And Hobby and KB are capable of doing it too. So I want them to take more early on. That's why I was telling Dal, I want her to shoot threes right now. She needs to be able to hit a couple in some of these games early on, so now people play her. So she's worked on it. So I'm telling her right now, I want her to shoot those. So the more people that can shoot it, like you said, the spacing's and it's gonna be really hard to guard us.
It's just one more about Makaira, if I could. I don't remember seeing kind of like anything on the floor that thing were stopped. Can you walk us through maybe what happened with her?
I really don't. I just know she got hit. And I got to see it. And I took her out a couple plays after that. And then, Autumn, I think, just said, hey, we're going to keep her out. So again, we'll reevaluate. Hopefully it's nothing, obviously, too bad, and we can get her back.
How do you anticipate the energy and overall atmosphere from the Orange Crush and the fans will be like in State Farm Center this year?
Yeah, I actually thought it was good just seeing the Orange Crush. There was a little bit of a presence there tonight, which was great for an exhibition game. And That's awesome, and we need them more, so if we can continue to get that, section pretty full down there, they're a difference maker, the Orange Crush. I mean, obviously you see the difference they make at men's games, but if, they're the same thing if they can be down there and heckling and harassing the other team, and that helps us. And again, 2,500 tonight for an exhibition game. I thought that was, that was good, but we need, hopefully we can get up to the 4 or the 5s for every regular, season game here.
One final thing. So the national media, is a little more on you guys this year than they have been in the past. And everybody knows about the Iowas. They know about Indiana. What does the national media need to know about Illinois basketball and their quest to win the Big Ten this year?
Hopefully, we'll let our game talk, and that's the most important thing. I mean, let them think what they want. I really don't. I'd rather them not know and think we're not that good, and we can just continue to do what we do. And then, if we go out and we're successful, and again, we stick to our principles and defend at a high level and shoot like this, then results and the outcomes take care of themselves. So we're very process driven, and we're just trying to keep our standards, our expectations is the only thing that matters right now, and not really what anyone else thinks or says. Thank you.